It's that time of the week again, and I'm super excited to be on your screen. You know how we do it here, right here in Women in Business. We profile business women doing great in businesses here in the Southeast and the country at large. We also discuss business topics related to business women and businesses. Today we have someone very special who will be taking us through a very unique topic you would love to meet. So stick around. My name is Marvelous Apwamaga, your host. And as we know, in 2024, there are lots of business women experiencing imposter syndrome. Research shows that about 60% of women in businesses, both big businesses and small business owners, are still experiencing this. And I'm wondering, why do you attribute your achievements, your hard work to maybe luck or chance or maybe someone's help? Now we have a business coach. We have someone who is a lecturer, or who was a lecturer in English and Literary Studies. She is also the founder of Nelly Writers, a freelance writing agency, and the founder of Nelly Beddings, Mrs. Chinenye Favour, who will be taking us through this topic. Let's know what causes imposter syndrome, the challenges, how to overcome them in business, and what we can do around it. You're welcome, Mrs. Chinenye.
Thank you.
You look very beautiful.
Thank you, Marvelous.
You're almost my namesake. Because
Really?
my name is Chinonye and you're Chinenye.
I'm Chinenye.
Is there a difference between Chinenye and Chinonye?
Chinenye means God is with us.
Chinenye
Chinenye means God gives like virtually everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So when I heard you were
Yes.
an English and Literary Studies lecturer,
Yes.
I was like, oh, wonderful. Because that was what I read in school.
Yeah, I did lecturing for a while, for like 3 years.
Oh, okay. So how was it like for you?
It was interesting because I love impacting knowledge to students, to people. I like, giving. So I found it very interesting. I started lecturing when I was very young, and I had students that were older than me and people that have actually gone to other universities and still come back to do maybe 1 or 2 courses. And they were like, who is this young lady teaching us? I found it very interesting.
Not just young, beautiful, and
it was actually interesting.
People see English as very stressful course. You see it that way?
Yeah,
because of the novels
you need to read a lot.
You
you need to read, and you should be able to, also understand what you're reading. It's not just about reading and most people cram and then they put in. You need to read and understand for
reading to know, not
reading to
pass.
just pass your exams. You need to read to understand so that you'll be able to actually excel in that course.
Okay.
Because it's
people watching us now will be like, I introduced you as a professor and also as the founder of Nelly Beddings.
Yes.
Why did you move from being a professor to being a business owner?
Well, I would say I relocated because I was lecturing in the West. I had to move down to the East, so I had to quit. Okay. That was why I quit, actually.
So would you say lecturing in the West is better off than the East?
There were a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of opportunities. We had a lot of private universities because I was lecturing in a private university. Okay. So there are a lot of private universities than what we have in the East. It's not like I didn't apply in some universities here. I did apply, but it wasn't forthcoming. So I had to, I was actually doing my business while I was lecturing. That's one thing. Yes, because I've been doing this business for over 7 years. Nelly Beddings has been here for over 7 years. Okay. So I was doing my business while I was lecturing. Okay. This business was like my side hustle, what we call side hustle now. So the lecturing was the major thing. So, but after when I left lecturing, I was like, okay, what's the next thing to do? Push your brand, push your business, and that was it.
So you're a business coach that has coached many women out of many women to overcome imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And I would like you to tell us the causes of imposter syndrome. Some people say to them imposter syndrome is a source of motivation, has motivated them to do more, while some say it has damaged them. And we really don't know how this thing starts. So I would like you to tell us, how does it start? What causes imposter syndrome?
Okay, I would say one of the major causes will be comparison.
Okay.
When business owners begin to compare themselves to experienced, successful business owners. Now, I'll use myself as an example. I like giving instances. When I started Nelly Beddings, I started in the East before I moved to the West. Okay. Now, there's this woman that is doing so well in the beddings business. She's in Lagos. She's based in Lagos. Okay. Every single night, before I go to bed, I always go to her page, look at the things she's doing, the way she's selling out and all of that. And I'm like, what is happening? Why can't I achieve something like this? So one of the major causes is comparison. When you compare yourself with people who have started before you, you don't even know if these people have sponsors. Now, a lot of business owners have sponsors. People sponsor them, but you don't know. They won't put that out. They'll just show you that they are being successful. They are selling out. You know, that's the intent. I want to sell out. I want to bring in containers.
I can relate. I can relate.
So you now start comparing yourself with such people. That will be a problem for you. Now, another thing is when you have that high standard in quotes, you want to achieve something big when you're just starting. A lot of people have set high standards for themselves.
So we shouldn't think.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't think big. But when you don't have the capacity,
okay,
don't think that you can make such 10 million when the goods you have in your shop is less than 500,000. It's just like we are in the era of fairs. A lot of people, a lot of business owners want to go for fairs, but you don't have the capacity. You don't have that capacity to pull, that will be able to, you know, cater for the crowd that will come there. And you now intend to go there with maybe goods of 1 million and you expect to make 10 million after the fair. Then when you don't make such amount, you now start, you know, talking about the fair organizers that they did this or they did that without knowing that you did not actually have that capacity to get to that, you know, limit or number. So please, I would advise or tell people that at least if you're starting small, know that you're starting. It takes time to grow a business. It takes time to grow a brand. Don't set high targets that you won't be able to achieve. And you know, it's most times when they set such targets, they don't achieve. They feel that they did not do well. They didn't do, but without knowing that they cost that themselves.
Do you know that there are some people who are satisfied with what they have? Okay. Who what's the first thing you said? Comparison. About, who doesn't compare their business to other people's business, but they still have imposter syndrome. And that's because, I'm just contributing to what you said, and that's because of the kind of customers they have. Okay. There are some customers that are sent from hell. Sorry to say that, but these people can
push you.
Exactly. And aside even pushing you, they can just talk down on your product, on your business, make you feel like you're not doing anything. I'm saying that because this morning, there was someone I sold perfumes to, because I'm a perfume vendor. Yeah. And then I reached out to the person this morning. It's like, what's up? The perfume, do you like it? Even when I delivered the perfume there and then, the person was like, I don't think this perfume is original. How much, if you're buying it, if you want, I understand that we have designers' perfumes and all of that, and the prices vary. So if you want this perfume of this standard, you should know how much you get it for.
You're going to get
Do you know how much you got this one for, and you're saying it's not original? The perfume lasts long, perfume smells nice. And then I thought about it. It got to me. It got to me. This morning, even while I was praying for this show, I was thinking about, like, are you serious? And I'm sure that's what many business owners experience.
Well, I would say, so long as you know you provide value, you provide value to your customers. Whatever thing they say, you sieve it.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's just like what you said, perfume has grades. The same with bedsheets. I'll still go back to my bedsheets. Bedsheet has grades. We have American cotton, we have polish, we have silk, and we have the regular cotton. Now, you can't get regular cotton at a cheaper price and expect it to be like American cotton or polish. You can't expect it to be like that. So I think most times, most business owners, there are some people that would sell American cotton as regular cotton as American cotton.
Exactly,
you get at the price. So I think that's where the problem is coming from. Okay. Know your pricing and also relate to your cost. I like telling people the truth. When you come to my showroom, I'll tell you, we have this, we have this, we have this.
Transparency.
Now make your choice. Do you understand? So when you allow them make their choice, it's easier. So when they come to you with, you gave me this, is low quality, you tell them, sir, please, I gave you the ones of higher standards. Do you get? You didn't go for those ones, you wanted this. this is what you get. So I think that's it. You should
Okay.
always be transparent. Tell them this is what you're getting. This is what you're going to get.
Of
if you
course,
use
I
this.
do. I do. Very transparent. They'll even tell you this is the exact one I want. And then when you bring it, this particular customer, there is this. That's why I said there are some customers that are
No, normally,
this particular customer.
normally you get people like that, but they are the minority. I don't think they should. I don't think it should even bother you.
Bother me, right?
I don't think it should bother you because they are a minority.
Okay. So, what are the signs of imposter syndrome? Well, what should I look out for to say, I think I'm beginning to feel this imposter syndrome?
I think the very first sign is having self-doubt.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when you begin to doubt your abilities, when you begin to doubt the things you can do, that is when you know you're having that imposter syndrome. Just like I said, before I was able to transition from lecturing to, my business solely. I came down to Enugu. When I came down here, it was during COVID. I remember what happened during COVID. People's businesses were on shutdown. They were on lockdown. For months, I didn't have penny. And that was when I started my coaching business. I started coaching people online. I started teaching people how to sell their beddings business with zero capital, because actually I started my business with zero capital and then I built it to what it is today. Even though we are not where we are, but we have actually, moved from where we used to be to where we are right now. So I feel at some point I had that self-doubt. Will I be able to, feed? Because that's the most important thing. Being broke is terrible. So I was like, will I be able to push this business to what I want it to be? Because, as a 9-to-5 worker, at the end of the month, you're sure of getting paid. Now, for like 4 months, I didn't receive any salary. I was like, hey, now so I won't go. Do you understand? So I was like, is this what I'm going to do? So the first thing is you having self-doubt. That's where it comes in.
Okay.
You start thinking about if you are going to be able to do this. I think that's the major thing. That's one of the major things that you will see. And then another thing is the fear of failure, fear of,
not getting there.
Yes, fear of failure, fear of making mistakes. And most people forget that in life, you have to make mistakes for you to be able to get there. You have to make mistakes for you to learn from your experiences. And then sometimes you don't need to make that mistake. You can learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So most people, because of that fear, they will be drawn back. They wouldn't want to do more. They'll be like, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. And by the time they know it, they have not even started.
Do you think big business owners experience imposter syndrome?
I would say that this is a stage.
Do you know there are some people that there was nothing like small business for them? Because they came out from a rich home.
Exactly.
Something like that. Do you think, or would you say imposter syndrome is a rich and poor thing?
Yeah, I would say it's a stage.
Okay.
Is a stage. Even though you're a big business owner, maybe you have the structures in place, but someone else is doing that thinking for you.
Okay.
Do you understand? Someone else is there thinking, if we do this, if we do that, are we going to get these desired results? You might just be there answering the boss. What you know is, hey, have you done this? Have you done that? How much are we making? How much do we have? You're not the one doing the thinking. You're not the one thinking if we're going to succeed or not. So I feel it's a stage. But once that structure is in place, once you remove that self-doubt from your mind, and another thing is perfectionism. A lot of people want to be perfect, want everything to be perfect. Now we are in the era of content creation. A lot of business owners will say, I need to get an iPhone, I need tripod,
Exactly.
I need studio lights for me to be able to create content. Hello, create content already with your iTel, with your balasa. Create content. Just tap it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to put out that perfect video. At some point, you will grow and have all the equipment you need to create a very good professional video. But just start already. Don't wait for you to be perfect. So I think that's another thing that most business owners, do.
Do men experience imposter syndrome?
It's not gender-based. It's not gender.
People have argued that.
It's not
because when I was doing my
gender-based.
research, I saw that people have argued that women experience this more than men. Or is it that men are just really good at hiding it?
I would say, looking at the way we are going, we have more women in business than men. We have more women in business than men. I don't know, small business owners, when you look at it, the ratio you could see 70 to 30, 60, 40. I don't know if you've been to fairs. When you go to fairs, these are, I'm talking about people that want to push their brands.
Yeah.
I mean, people that want to push their brands. We have more women than men.
Maybe
And
it's
then,
because women are always on social media and the men are they just have their shops, because you barely see men coming to
do
market, exactly, online marketing and all of
another
that.
thing. That's another thing. And then they, they know how to hide it very well. Just like you said, they can hide their feelings. They will hide it to a point that business might crumble and you wouldn't know.
Like I said earlier, some people say imposter syndrome is a source of motivation for them, while some say it's detrimental, it damages their business. What's your thought on this?
I would say if you're able to handle it well.
Okay.
If you're able to handle it well, then you can succeed. But if you don't handle it well, it's going to crumble that business. You will just basically quit. Because at some point, you'll be like, there is no need. Let me just leave this thing. But if you're able to handle it well, if you're able to come out of it, if you're able to overcome it, then you will thrive. Your business will thrive.
All right, Dr. Nelly. This is Nelly.
I'm not
I don't know how I've been calling you Dr. Nelly.
I'm not a doctor yet, but it's in the process.
There's something speaking.
It's in the process. How do you know?
We're in business. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. You're still watching Women in Business right here on Afia TV, and I still have Mrs. Chinenye Favour with me here in the studio, and we'll be talking about imposter syndrome, the causes, signs, and a lot of things. Mrs. Nelly, how do we overcome this? We've talked about causes, we've talked about signs, and it's important we talk about how to overcome it.
The first thing I would say is, as a business owner, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in your abilities. You need to believe that you can do this. It's when you believe in yourself, that is when you'll be able to overcome imposter syndrome. Okay. And then the next thing is you should be consistent, be focused. Now, most business owners, they start today. You see them selling a particular product today. By the time you see them next week, they are selling another thing.
That one did not go now. Let's change it.
No, you should be consistent. You've not even pushed that brand enough for you to say it's not working, for you to say I can't make it in this line of business. Now, I'll use myself as an example. When I started Nelly Beddings, it took me 3 months to make my first sale. 3 good months. And that period, I was still posting every day. I was posting on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. I even ran sponsored ads on Facebook. But yet, for 3 months, without getting a single person, until the first customer that I got, I can never forget her, where she just bought, and that was it. So most business owners, for you to be able to overcome imposter syndrome, you should be able to hawk your business, hawk it like gala. Do you understand? Be consistent. That way, you would, thrive in your business. Another thing is always celebrate your achievements, whether big or small. I get 1,000 followers. I come to Instagram and shout it. Help me and celebrate with me. Do you understand? Always celebrate your wins. That way, it will motivate you to do more, And then be focused. Like I said earlier, you have to be focused. That way, you would want to, do more and thrive in your business.
There are people that are already on their way to overcoming imposter syndrome. And I'm sure that they are experiencing some kind of challenges right now.
Okay.
So what are the kind of challenges, as one who has coached some people out of it? And you're also telling me off cam that you have some of your students, some are doing well while others are not. So I would like you to tell us about that story.
Okay. Like I said earlier, when I started coaching students in 2020, when I mean students, I also mean, people that are already doing other businesses and then students in the university. Okay. Now, I had this particular student in Bielsa. She, when she came to my DM, she was like, "Ma, I've not sold anything before in my life. I want to try out this business, this bedsheet business, this beddings business. Are you sure I'm going to make it? Are you sure I'm going to do well?" She already had that self-doubt. You should be able to, excel in this. And then another thing she said is, "I don't have any money. I'm just a student. I just need something that will help me, in school, so I don't depend on my parents." And I told her, well, for me, I use myself as an example. I started this beddings business with 0 capital. You can start by drop shipping. Start posting pictures of what I have. Okay. And then after our training, I think the program was for like 1 week. After about 1 week, after the training, it took her about 2 weeks. She came back to me. She came back with 250,000. I was like, where did you get this from? She said she has been posting, the product, and then people paid. Okay. And then she was able to start up her business. So I think most times people need encouragement. You encourage them, talk to them, give them strategies. Because I know in my course, there were strategies on how you're going to sell on social media, how you're going to sell out. Because I think that was one of the topics that I had, how to sell out on social media. So people need encouragement. They need you to talk to them about overcoming this self-doubt. And that was how she was able to, start up her own business. And now she's still selling that bedsheet business. She's still doing well. Even though she doesn't buy from me now, but I think she's still doing well. I still see her status and, she's doing well for herself, even as a student.
All right, Mrs. Nelly, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, we would be, hearing from you about your business and other things you tell us.
Okay.
For Many Business, we'll be right back. Please stay with us. You're still watching Women in Business right here on Afia TV, and I still have the founder of Nelly Beddings right here with me in the studio, Mrs. Chinenye. How are you doing, ma'am?
Fine,
how's it been?
Nigeria. Business in Nigeria.
Okay, so
I just laugh.
Okay, so I just have like a brief question and answer segment for you about your business. So let's just go straight right into it. If you could start a new business tomorrow with unlimited resources, what would it be?
It will be this bedsheet business.
A new business.
It was
really a new business. That's why I said a new business.
A new business aside this one that's giving me money.
New. Unlimited resources. There's money to finance it. Unlimited resources.
I think it will be food business.
Why?
Because people will eat. People have to eat. I have that in mind anyway, to open a restaurant or something. People will eat.
So what's the most unusual or unexpected business decision you've ever made? And what was the outcome?
Unusual. I think it will be when I sent out goods on credit to someone in Lagos, from Enugu to Lagos. It took that woman 6 good months to pay me back my money. And when she decided to pay that money, she was paying me for 5,000 every month. For 6 months, that's 1 year.
6 months.
For another 6 months, for 5,000 for another 6 months.
When we go off here, I'll ask you what happened. if she maybe did Otumoko somewhere.
Nothing, no.
So what's one thing you wish you knew when you first started your business?
One thing I wish I knew. Yeah, support. Growing with people. When I started my business, I was always doing solo. On my own. I think most business owners, they need support. We need support. You need to join a support group. You need collaboration. Collaborate with people. Then I was just doing it's just my own thing. Besides, I'm a lecturer. I have something going on there aside the business. So I think that was one of the major things. So,
okay. If you had to describe your business journey in one word, what would it be?
I would say, I like the word amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why amazing?
Because it's going so well, more than what I expected.
Okay. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from failure or a failure? Let me put it that way.
Biggest lesson from failure.
A failure. Have you ever made mistakes and say, this thing, I'm not sure I would
do that again?
Don't
think, aside the fact that the one I told you earlier, sending out goods on credit, I think the next one will be probably doing payment on delivery, something like that.
Okay. What business myth do you think needs to be debunked or corrected? Misconception people have of business.
Now, I'd say most people think that once they start their business now, they're going to make 1 million that day. I've seen people say, if I put in, I want to invest 5 million in your business, am I going to get 50 million in 1 month? People think that business is business.
Sharp money.
Sharp money. They think it's MMM. You don't know it takes time for it to grow. Do you get? At some point, you might even be putting money from your pocket into your business. I think that's one of the misconceptions. People think that as a business owner, you have money somewhere. Because by the time you restock, that money you think you have is nowhere.
All right, Mrs. Nelly. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
So we've heard from Mrs. Chinenye Favour. For you to be able to overcome imposter syndrome, you need to celebrate yourself. You need to celebrate your small wins. You need to be consistent. Think big, but don't envy anyone, and don't compare your business to other people. I mean, everyone have different races they run. So you didn't come in this life with anybody. So try your best to celebrate yourself. Don't attribute your wins to maybe luck or chance or people's help or anything. And be good. Be good. I mean, in 2024, you shouldn't be doubting yourself. You shouldn't be doubting yourself. Thank you so much for staying with us on this episode of Women in Business. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. All you have to do is type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@afia business. I am Marvelous Apwamaga. Until you see me next time, be safe.